Good evening, everyone. It's indeed a beautiful evening because I think it is the first time where we are doing a particular program in SAFA. On behalf of SAFA and the Committee for Education, Training and CPD, which is Continuous Professional Development, I welcome you all to who have joined today to discuss on something very interesting. This was being deliberated in the SAFA meeting which we had in India at Ahmedabad. I welcome the President SAFA, CA Nihar Jambusaria sir, who has actually joined us and will be addressing us shortly. Welcome, President sir. I also welcome the Vice President of SAFA, Hesana. Welcome to you, sir, and wishing you a great stint in time to come, not only at SAFA, but Sri Lanka as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I also welcome Council Member Mohammad Maqbool from Pakistan CA Institute. I also welcome Tishan, who is now congratulate him for being elected as a Vice President of Sri Lanka. And welcome to you, sir. I also have along with me Ashish, who is from Institute of Cost Accountants, India, and who's going to share certain thoughts with us in this deliberation. This topic, which we have talked about, future of accountancy profession, which we are looking at from a perspective of today, what the future-ready chartered accountants have to be and future-ready cost accountants have to be in time to come, because the technology is taking us in a different direction altogether. In the different direction is, rather, I'll put it this way, the speed with which the information is flowing, I think we need to match that speed at every corner and every route which we are walking through as a professional. Friends, we are really thankful to the President ICI as well as Vice President ICI for giving us opportunity to ensure that this entire platform is come together. And we are going to listen to all the institute from 5 different institutes of the country, world, rather CA Sri Lanka, CA Bangladesh, CA Pakistan, Cost Accounting Institute of India, and Chartered Accountant Institute of India. So these all professionals who are sitting are the council members or holding the positions at different level at the respective councils. And they have been the regulators, and they are looking at the future today, what it has to be. This discussion is not just going to be restricted to the future. Rather, I'll put it this way. It is about the future, but what is happening in present and what a past need to take care is all going to be deliberated in today's discussion. Friends, this is one of its kind webinar with SAFA. In the interest of SAFA member countries, this webinar is being hosted. It is we who all of us are going to learn from each other what our institutes are doing at different locations and how a different set of challenges which we all are going through can be discussed and addressed. And also, we are going to discuss upon the new learnings which our institutes have actually taken over a period of time when we are walking through post-COVID, when technology is actually taking us on a different drive altogether. 2 topics which are being discussed today are going to be embracing technology disruption, which is navigating the future of accountancy profession. And second is very important one, redefining leadership in accountancy, particularly focusing on the areas called skill, ethics, and innovation. Without these 3 words, I think the profession is not going to go in any direction. And these 3 words are the most important aspects today, which we all have to face. In today's discussion, we are actually going to go step by step, where we are going to listen to the address of the President, Vice President SAFA, President, Vice President ICI, and also we are going to have specific discussions today with the council members who have joined. Dear students and members who have joined today, let me just put it this way. I think the challenges which we all are facing are not to fear about. It's all about how do we embrace that and also adopt to the changing requirements, which is actually being seen on a continuous basis. You, who are the future chartered accountants of those respective countries, future cost accountants of those countries which is there, are actually the driving force for the profession in time to come. But I think for the students, vice president sir and president sir, this is the first time that they are actually getting to know about what SAFA is. So let me just take 2 minutes of time to tell what SAFA is. SAFA means South Asian Federation of Accountants. In this uh, body, we have countries which are participating are there. One, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Sri Lanka. So these are the countries which have formed SAFA as an organization where we interact with each other, understand from each other. It is not a competition, but it is complementing each other in a true sense, where we learn from each other and we take these learnings back to our institute, which can actually come back down below up to the student level and also for the chartered accountants and the cost accountants of the respective institutes. So this is one part which is very important, which as a student you should know that SAFA stands very strong for these SAARC countries. These 7 countries which are together are actually going to be the future. Today we are talking about the future is Asia, and Asia means we all fall in that particular region. And I think the next 25 years, which we always say, is going to be about the Asian countries, which is to be taken in a right sense. There are many other institutes which are coming forward, tweaking to the education systems. But let me tell you one thing, these all institutes which have been standing tall as a hard pillar in the entire economic reforms of the countries stands very important because they are actually given an identity from the respective parliaments of those countries, and the authority has been given from those parliamentary decisions itself. Now, when you talk about the SAFA, what is the mission which we have is with regards to positioning, maintaining, and developing the accountancy profession in our Asian region. So the president and vice president is going to be talking about what is that we are going to look at, how is that we are taking it forward, and how we are going to move forward. Friends, let me tell you one thing. The profession, people talk is in a crossroad. I say that now our profession has come on highway. Now is the time where we need to accelerate our speed and ensure that the professionals in the respective countries stand for the nation development in true sense. We have been doing most of the compliance work by ourselves as a historical process. But I think all of us will now agree the compliance part which is there is getting taken over by the technology, and we are now going to play an important role with regards to business advisors more than a compliance officer. Every one of us, like Ashish is here, who's representing the Institute of Cost Accountants. Now, what was the requirement of cost accounting at that point in time, and what is the requirement of a cost accountant today is totally different from a certification process to an advisory level. Maqbul Sahab is also there from Pakistan, who is representing Pakistan Institute, who actually is going to look into the new definitions, where and how not only the industry or the members we need to support. How do we support the nation as such by giving our right advisors to generate right set of revenues? Teshan and Hesana, both who are going to be the president and vice president of Sri Lanka, are actually they who are talking about a different transition they have seen in the Sri Lankan market, and the way they are actually guiding the nation is actually the testimony that the professions are going to be always on high demand. Jodhar, who is again representing Bangladesh, who's actually looking from a perspective of chartered accountancy profession, where the demand, the manufacturing hub is going to be Bangladesh in time to come, and how a chartered accountant is going to play an important role is also going to be talked about. But these are certain things where we have to understand and divide this entire equation in two parts. Welcome to the President of ICI, Aniket Talati sir. Thank you very much for joining us. So, friends, what I would like to tell you is very importantly, a past cannot be forgotten because the roots are coming from the past only. We have learned the best way. We have ensured that the foundations have made big, very strong in technology adoption. The foundations cannot be changed. It is only the acceleration with which the technology is going to support the profession is going to go under change. We have with us Charanjot Singh Nandaji, who is the chairman of Information Technology Committee of SAFA, who has joined us today. Welcome to you as well, sir. So, what we will do today, I think, when all these delegates have already joined us, it is very important we start talking and deliberating on certain thoughts. First of all, what I'll do is I'll request Vice President SAFA, Hisana Kurupu, to give his remarks. One good thing about him, I'll tell you, is he is now going to take over as a president of SAFA, and also he's going to be taking over as president of Sri Lanka. And most importantly, a man with an industry background. I think, Hisana, you can actually give our students an perspective how industry is looking at chartered accountants in time to come. What is their value add which is going to be there in time to come? Over to you,
sir. Thank you. C. Dayanima Sharma. President SAFA, Mr. Niha Jambusaria, President Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Mr. Aniket Talati, my passionate chairman of Education, Training and CPD Committee, C. Dayanima Sharma, and IT Committee Chairman, our friend Singh Nanda. Yeah. And all the other distinguished panelists, Sri Lanka Vice President Ishan Subasinghe. So thank you very much for organizing this workshop within a very short period of time. We had our discussions a month back, I think, and then during that discussion, this came up. So future of the accountancy profession is the theme that you have selected, very much pertinent topic for students to discuss. So thank you again to the committee for coming up with this idea. I think, yes, a person coming from industry, I'll touch upon some of the areas based on my experience as well. I think we all know this common acronym we use relating to technological impact that is happening, ABCD, and then relating to the reporting, ESG. So I think these 7 letters will have a critical role in years to come. And so let me say what ABCD stands for. A is artificial intelligence, B is blockchain, C is cybersecurity, and D stands for data and data analytics. ESG, we all know, environmental, social, and governance aspect of the business. So these 7 acronym and the letters will have a role to play in years to come. I believe that relevance will be there for a longer period of time. We have heard this discussion with the accountants going to lose their jobs, and sometimes new students who are joining profession also, they contemplate whether this is the right profession to continue their career. I think there is huge myth created in the marketplace also that accountants are going to lose their jobs. So that is one thing we need to address, and students also, those who are joining, you need to be happy that you are in the right profession, because ABCD ESG ownership is with accountants. Especially sustainability aspect is driven by accountant in the organization. What matters is whether we take it as a priority is the question, because what happened to dinosaurs was they couldn't adapt and flex. They were not flexible to the environment. But professional accountancy organization in this region, we are flexible and we are adapting to that environment. That is why we come up with the syllabus revisions. I know ICI went through a major transformation of their syllabus. Even Sri Lanka has embarked on a journey to have a syllabus transformation. With all that, what we do is we bring whatever future ready areas into our syllabus and mold our students to become future ready business leaders. As you rightly said, it is not about accounting and bookkeeping, it is becoming a business partnering in the commercial world. So that is the molding that we do through these programs, whether it's chartered accountancy, whether it's cost and management accountancy. Finally, once you go through this career progression, after 3-4 years, you will be a business leader. And that's the role we are actually grooming our members. Some will go and start their own practice as an entrepreneur. Another percentage will go and join corporates as business leaders to take the corporates forward. I think that is the contribution we made to the economy, not only Sri Lanka, India, everywhere. That role is recognized by everyone. So I think coming back to the previous idea that I mentioned, accountants will have more and more demand because we are making it more relevant. So rather than people say that we will lose jobs, I think in years to come with these changes happening, the priorities that we are setting for the profession, we will have more demand. And even now we know we change sometimes the titles. Now some companies, they call more than chief financial officer, chief value officer, because that's the value they bring to the table. And I always say accountant is the one, or the professional accountant is the one who sees the overall picture of a business. No one else sees that, not even the managing director. And that's the person who can talk about the total story of the business in a way that everyone understands. So in future, with AI, I'm sure we can bring some of the mundane work and hand it over to AI, give those automation related routine work to AI, but judgment and decision making and value creation roles, with these changes that we are doing to syllabuses, as well as bringing in these new technological aspects into our schemes, I am sure accountants will have a very, very bright future in years to come. So with that, I congratulate the committee for coming up with this idea and creating this environment for accountants as well as students to listen to these senior members. And if they have any doubt about the career, they can clear it. Don't have any doubt. You are in the right place and you are in right time to have your future aspirations achieved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice President, sir. Indeed, a fantastic thought. That 7 letters which you have talked about, which is A, B, C, D, and E, S, G. So if you put it in a sequence also, it actually goes in a nice acronym. And the students have to listen to this entire thing in time to come. And I request all the dear students to ensure that, this small videos which are available across the length and breadth of the Google Bhagwan or might be the YouTube channels, listen to it. And very rightly said, sir, rather than being a cost center, you have to become a value center, not a profit center, a value center. And a role of a chartered accountant or a cost accountant has to be on a value-based approach only. And yes, you are right. Accountants may lose a job, not a chartered accountant or a cost accountant for that matter. So thank you very much, sir. With this, I'll request President ICI, C. Aniket Sunil Talati to give his quick address on to this our young students across these 5-6 countries which has joined today, sir. Very happy that this is the first time we are doing a program for all our students at one go. The future of accountancy profession, who can talk better? You are the youngest and the best president who have been seen in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And with your vision, you just put forward what you think the students have to look into in time to come. Over to you, President, sir.
You are mute, Mr. Talati.
Welcome, Sujanji.
Still you are mute, Mr. Talati. Please unmute yourself.
Modir?
Yeah. Am I now audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, see, that is the problem when we have somebody like Mr. Dayanivas Sharma moderating who's too much into technology. It gets difficult for the people like us to able to even unmute ourselves. He has so many layers of controls that he has put in place that even I was not able to unmute myself. That's on a lighter note. But thank you so much, Darevaji, for inviting me and making me part of this very, very, very important virtual conference. I think all of us, I can see my colleagues from so many parts of the world and of South Asia who are here. And we all will acknowledge one thing, that the future of our profession, it may be the accounting profession or the costing profession in India, it may be the accounting profession in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, all of those who have joined today. I think we all will agree the future lies with the students. The members are, of course, there who have qualified, but the future of the profession is going to be shaped by our students who are our future members. And therefore, this area is extremely important. And I'm delighted that today, Dayaji, you have collaborated with all the institutes to exchange best practices with each other, because I believe we have a lot to learn from each other. I think what Heshanaji today, for example, started with, the A, B, C, D, E, S, G, I think very important. These alphabets itself, if the new generation understands of how technology and non-financial reporting together is going to change the future of our profession. It's extremely important that all of us belonging to different jurisdictions, different countries, first understand how big this transformation is. I think technology by itself is going to transform how accounting happens. And we have the chairman of DAB from India, Charanjot Singh Nandaji, to talk on this. Who better than him and Dayabhai to talk about this? We have, of course, all our colleagues who I can see from Sri Lanka, my friend, Mr. Tishan, who's a fellow board member on Kappa board, Sujanji, who I met in Kolkata recently, Ashishji, who has been a part of the recent SAFA conference we had in Mumbai. So great to see all of you. And I think all of us have a role to do. We have to debate of what is going to shape the future. I think Heshanaji gave the example of dinosaurs. I always say this. There used to be a time when the biggest competition for airline companies used to be maybe a train or a bus company or some other alternate mode of transport. So if they were to do a SWOT analysis, they would say my threat or competition is going to come from another mode of transport. Today, if you ask an airline company, what is your biggest competition? It is in fact Zoom, Skype, and other forms of digital modes through which people, instead of doing this conference, for example, had we to do this in India, Heshanaji would come from Sri Lanka, somebody would come from Bangladesh, from Nepal, and we would all be sitting in Delhi. Who are we taking business away from by doing this virtually? It's in fact the airline companies. So my point is to dear students, we do not know what your competition is. And if you're not able to fathom your future competition, how will you face yourself to it? I think that can only be understood if all of us together deliberate and understand where and which direction the accounting profession is going to go. And I have no doubt in my mind that technology is going to totally transform the profession. Some people say disrupt, but I use a better word in terms of transformation, merely because technology by itself cannot be allowed to run roost. I think today we have all seen in India, for example, Nandaji is the president of the chairman of DAB, and he will tell you that today in India, our big challenge is in the digital information world, differentiating what is true and what is fake. We have deep fake videos. We have deep fake technology. We have people who are now using that where you are not able to distinguish whether this person is there actually speaking this or somebody has superimposed a face, somebody has used his voice modulation and put something there which he never spoke. And now in this world of artificial intelligence, of deep fake content, deep fake videos, who better than qualified accountants to tell apart from what is true and what is not? And I think therefore our role as professionals in the digital world is going to change when we report on financial information, because the first and foremost expectation of management and society and government from us is going to be to tell apart what is true and what is fabricated using technology. Because even today you can tell a deepfake video apart from an original video, but you need to have the understanding of it. Similarly, to tell apart a false narrative, a false transaction, a wrong fraud which is being tried to be committed, some artificial entries which have been posted, how do you tell it apart from what is genuine real transaction? I think that requires analysis, that requires experience, expertise, and more importantly, a human mind. Therefore, I personally feel that AI, as much as it will impact it, it is not going to replace our profession. But as I always say, people ask me if AI will replace accountants. My answer always is definitely no. But will AI or AI equipped accountants replace older generation accountants? The answer probably to that question may be a yes. That if we are not in terms of technology updated and upgraded, then you have a more fear of getting wiped out than merely by technology wiping us out. And therefore, as a profession, it's our responsibility. The next generation of accountants which are coming are totally transformatively equipped with all the new ABCD, which my dear friend Mr. Kurupu spoke about. We must ensure that it is an integral part of the course curriculum. And we don't leave it only as a part of a formality that has to be taught, but truly try how we can make it a core part of every subject. And therefore, when the Institute revised its course curriculum, and it was launched on 1st of July by Draupadi Murmuji, the Honorable President, we said we cannot afford to now have technology as a subject, but technology will have to be part of every core subject of the CA final. And therefore, today in CA final, when you talk about accounting, we teach technology with it. When you talk about audit, we teach technology audit. Therefore, how do you use technology to audit, to sample, to select, to do everything else? And this is going to be the future. It may be financial reporting or non-financial reporting. It is not going to be possible for us to do it without technology. And therefore, I think a very important session today being organized by SAFA. I'm sure, Dayaji, we will have great learnings from all our friends in South Asia. I'm thankful to the Honorable President Nihar Jambusariyaji, who has given us this opportunity and this platform to interact with our colleagues. And I'm sure we can all exchange best practices from one another and make sure that when we rightly said the manufacturing hub is in Bangladesh, when Sri Lanka is the tea capital of the world, India is the software capital of the world, how can we together ensure that South Asia is the accounting capital of the world? And let us have that vision, that dream, and let all of us ensure that we are able to fulfill that objective, that goal by giving the next quality world-class accountants. My compliments to you, Dayaji and Vishalji, for organizing this. And of course, as always, my special recognition for CS Dandaji, who always devotes so much time towards the development of SAFA, and not just in technology for members, but today for technology of students also. He is there, and I think we cannot find a better person than him to deliberate on this topic. So thanks to all of you, and thanks to all my colleagues from South Asian countries. Look forward to interacting with you, and my best wishes to each one.
Thank you very much, Anikelji. Thank you so much. I think this 3-4 points which we have specifically mentioned, just to reiterate and get our students registered in mind. One, that the SAFA countries can actually become the accounting capital of the world. Yes, you are right. And the time is the Asian, which our Prime Minister also is talking about. Asia is going to be the future. And that is where we all our countries come from. Number two, you talked about future will be in hands of the new generation. Rather, it will be also on the shoulders of new generation. I'll put it this way, because they have to carry the old generation also along with them. Because the experience lies with the old people and technology will come with the young people. Technology and non-financial reporting, in between is the financial reporting aspect. So left and right, if you take it, the length of the entire profession is going to be much larger than what we can expect. And undoubtedly, the example you gave, competition. Today, it's not easy to analyze what our competition is going to be. But it is very important that we analyze the competition effectively and see in which direction this profession is going to take us forward. And that is where today, for the benefit of our students across these countries, SAFA countries, we have called the council members to come and address this entire discussion rather than calling in external people to come and talk, because these are the people who are driving the thought process of the profession in a true sense. Thank you very much, sir. Now, let me welcome President SAFA, Nihar Jambusariya, sir, who is actually a person who has seen the academics in one direction, practice in another direction, industry in another direction, and also led the world's largest accounting body, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, as the president very recently. Nihar, sir, you have actually played a variety role, and today you are taking the role of SAFA president, which is giving us motivation that, in this entire group of people, we will make that difference. And as rightly said by ICI president, how do we make SAFA countries accounting capital of the world is something which you can give it in your opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dayaji. And it's a great pleasure that today you are organizing this program, this webinar on a very important topic, future of the accounting profession. Vice President SAFA, C.A. Sanakurupuji, President ICI, C.A. Aniket Talati, Dayaji, Visalji, Kafleji, Thatteji, our colleagues from Pakistan, Nandaji, and many friends who are going to speak here today. And I think there are a large number of students and members to listen to this discussion on a very important topic. Now, I think if you see in reality, there is no confusion or two opinions about what is the future of accounting profession. It is excellent, and whether it is in spite of technology or because of technology, or whether it is in spite of so many other factors like climate change and other laws which are being introduced, I think it is because of so many developments which have taken place. And particularly if I talk about one, that is technology, it was advancing very rapidly for last 10 years. But we could really realize the power of technology only during the COVID-19 period, when we started interacting with each other on virtual mode, and the territorial barriers were completely demolished. Even today, the manner in which all SAFA countries are having these webinars, panel discussions online, I think the concept of co-creation, which we were theoretically discussing before, because at that point of time we thought we can only physically attend and there is nothing beyond it. Whereas now no physical travel is required, no visas are required, and we are able to discuss topics, important topics like this, which are very critical not only for the profession but also for the economy and also for the future of the profession, that is the students who join this course. And very rightly put, Dayaji, you, Vice President SAFA, President ICI, said the context very well, that this is the time of co-creation. And we all must come together and create something which is very important for the economies of our countries. And very rightly put, this is the time for Asian countries to grow at a rapid pace. And the circumstances are favorable, particularly the huge population of SAFA or Asian countries is an advantage today. And with the help of technology, I think we can achieve all goals that we set. There was time when there was discussion on whether this information technology, ABCD, will disrupt the entire profession. Even in the students' community, there was huge discussion around this topic. But now with the opportunities that AI is creating, the information technology is creating for us, I remember the time when we were telling trial balances physically, manually, and how much time it was taking. When computers came in, similar doubts were there in the minds of people. And today we have realized that with computers, with technology, we have grown at a much faster pace. The world has become competitive, but IT, if properly adopted, if proper trainings are on a continuous basis, our continuing professional development programs can incorporate technology in such a way that it would be useful to all accountants to do away with all routine functions and focus on decision making. I think even Vice President SAFA put it very rightly that now professional accountants are not being called CFOs, but they are called CVOs, Chief Value Officers. I have seen examples after COVID where CFOs were promoted as CEOs, whereas in the past, professional accountants were always looked upon as CFOs. So these advancements show that it is only accountants for whom the future is very bright. President ICAI put it very rightly to the audience that in ICAI, when the syllabus was changed, for every subject, technology was incorporated. How this subject can be learnt with technology and how students will have skill-based learning. And this time is not of theoretical learning, where for 3 years we were writing theory paper. Now we have so many questions on objective, so many case studies, applications, and we have open book systems, elective papers, and all these advancements or changes, which transformative changes, which we have done in India, which Sri Lanka is also doing, and I think Pakistan, Bangladesh, and other countries which are part of SAFA must also be planning for change of the entire curriculum. So with the advancement of technology, with climate change affecting the entire world, where UN itself has in its statement said, oh, now only accountants will save the world. See, there were some who were doubting that when non-financial reporting will become very important and prominent as compared to financial reporting, whether professional accountants will have relevance. But I think even in non-financial reporting, one has to put figures, and only professional accountants are on top of figures. So whether you look at non-financial reporting, whether you look at advancement in technology, advisory which is expected, it can come only from professional accountants. Future of the profession is very bright. Context has been set by all my previous speakers, and I would not like to have longer time on this topic because I would also like to listen to others who have some ideas on future of accounting. But I have no doubt in my mind that future is certainly very bright, and we, the professional accountants, are going to be on top of the economy, on top of the country for a sizable number of years to come. With this, I thank Dayaji and Visalji for organizing this discussion today. You have done it in quick succession for the second time, and the SAFA countries will remember this very fondly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Sir. Indeed, thanks to you for giving us opportunity to ensure that this committee does a nationwide, worldwide program. And sir, because of you and Vice President, rather today I would like to say that more than 1,000 people across the board have joined us. Rather, not only from South Asian countries, people are participating. Thanks to all those people who have joined from Australia, UAE, Oman, UK, Sweden, to name a few. That entire list I just checked out with the team. Sir, education is something which is actually liked by many of the people, and we all are professionals, and we want to see that happening around. Borderless and limitless is two words which will go together. If you add together, will be equal to a chartered accountant or a professional in time to come, because we'll not have restrictions. Where do we have to service? And most important part which you have touched upon is, sir, IT in a syllabus, where just to tell you friends and all the students that in the new curriculum which ICAI has planned is where the core papers in final examination, all the papers, like rightly said by the President ICAI as well, that information technology and ethics are included, embedded in the process. Digital ecosystem is a new paper which has been pulled out, and most importantly, digital audit and assurance is one such chapter which has actually been taken into the auditing paper as such. So, President Sir, thank you very much for giving us opportunity. I'll request all the delegates before they put on the mute or might be a screen on off mode. I'll request everyone to kindly just switch on your video so that very quickly we can take a photograph that can be circulated across, that we all stand united in this entire process of learning and education, and we all professional only know one language, which is accountancy and commerce. That's it. So I'll request even Hisana sir to join us, and also I think President ICI has left. Otherwise, we can actually take a quick photograph if Hisana sir joins us. So let me just quickly take it, and thank you very much, sir. And with this, we'll start our discussion very quickly. I'm really happy to share some of the important people who have joined us today. Are Mr. Jodhar, who is from ICA Bangladesh. Hi, Jodhar, for joining us. Thank you very much. We have my chairman in Institute, Charanjot Singh Nandaji, who is also the chairman of the Information Technology. Sir, welcome to you. Thank you very much. We are really excited to listen from you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Chairman. I'm truly excited to be amongst you all. It's a great initiative, and I'm thankful that you are taking such great measures to ensure that our students are technology savvy. The more technology savvy they are, they will have larger propositions when they come into practice. Yes, I'll speak when my chance comes. Thanks for inviting me and making me a part of this
very much, sir.
Deliberation.
We also have Ashish, who is from the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Hi, Ashish. Welcome to you as well.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, look forward. Sujan, thank you very much for joining from Nepal. President ICANN, which is Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal. Welcome to you, Sujan. I think the students can really appreciate the kind of focus which all these council member presidents have for their beloved students. You can imagine. Thank you very much for joining us. Maqbul Zab, thank you very much for joining us from Pakistan. We had a beautiful interaction last time also. Welcome to you. And we also would like to listen to you at the appropriate time. Tishan, thank you very much for joining. You are now going to be taking over as a Vice President of Sri Lanka Chartered Accountant Institute. And we also would like to see how your vision is actually going to be, taking forward in this entire discussion.
Thank you.
If I can request, or we can directly go for a question answer session if you think it appropriate, or I would request each one of you, one after another. Jodhar, if you can just take a minute to talk about yourself and about your institute in a minute or two, because when we have questions, we can actually deliberate more further.
Sure. No, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Dayaji, and of course the Honorable President and Vice President of SAFA, President and Vice President of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, the committee members, the respected panelists joining us here today, and of course the students. Good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Jodhar, as you have heard. So I'm the council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh. I actually have a long corporate career. I've just left that job and then started my own chartered accountancy firm. Started in October, so very, very new, settling in. But yeah, I'll probably share some of my experiences that I've gained during my time as a professionals in business when my turn comes. And just to add, in terms of this very important topic that SAFA leadership has chosen, I think this is very, very timely. It could not have been any better topic than the one we are discussing today. And I really congratulate all of you. And just to add from the ICAB perspective, we actually just in our last council meeting have approved a new syllabus that obviously embraces everything that we have just discussed so far. So, we are pretty much embracing the changes, the demand of the time, and preparing our students, ready for the future. That will be absolutely critical for them to remain relevant going forward. So yeah, that's from me for now, and then I'll speak again.
Thank you, Jodhar. Thank you so much. I'll request Charanjot Singh Nanda sir to just introduce and talk few words.
Thanks a lot, Daya Bhai. In fact, myself and Daya Bhai are related I am the chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, and he's a permanent vice chairman. It is his fifth year in the council, and he is praying that when he becomes the vice president, then also he should be the vice chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board. This showcases his love and affection with technology. Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to technology for students. I'll give my brief introduction. I'm the chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board. Our institute, by God's grace, has come out with 23 forensic standards, which is the first in this world. I'm also the chairman of Capital Market Committee of ICAI. And you're all aware, India stock markets are at its all-time high. Today, the markets closed at its all-time high. Lot of money coming across borders, across very number of countries, and people are making a lot of money and creating a great sense of and great environment of investment. I'm also the chairman of IT Committee of SAFA, a great honor that has been conferred upon me by the Honorable President. I'm so happy and relish being the chairman of the IT Committee. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the role which IT has to play. IT is a big enabler. Whatever work you do, three advantages of IT. Number one, IT gives goodbye to the era of sampling. Entire database is taken into account. You are able to effectively use the entire database and find out exceptions. The best part of data analytics is that you could browse through the data and determine the areas. I'm sorry. And determine the areas where, I'm really very sorry. Determine the areas where there have been exceptions. Second important thing, computer don't have wives. The work is finished on time. What may happen? No festival, nothing. They will give that work on time. So timely line, which is a must in professional avenues, is immediately meant. And third and very important initiative, it ensures that everything is correct. Correctness is not an issue. When people say that artificial intelligence will impact the profession of accountancy, I don't agree. It has embedded a real sense of actual intelligence which artificial intelligence cannot match. It will be a helper, it will be an enabler, it will facilitate the working, but at any time, it will not ensure that our work goes to some other agency. It will remain with us. So now taking these propositions to students, once students who are empowered in technology, when they come out, they'll be leaders who understand technology and more effectively are able to add to it. When time comes, we'll discuss how technology will impact accounting, how technology will impact auditing. But now we'll have the words of wisdom from all the people who have joined here, from all across the South Asian region. Over to the chairman, Mr. Dyanivas.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nanda sir. I think rightly put the discussion in a direction which we all are going to go through, and it's going to be an enabler for all the students also. Now I'll request Mohammad Maqbool sir from Pakistan to give his quick introduction and remark.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you, Daji. I'm thankful to the President SAFA, Vice President SAFA, President ACIA, and Sharma Nandaji, learner panelist, and the online delegates. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammad Maqbool, and I'm a member of ICAP, ICAW, CPA Ontario, ACCA, SAFA, and Chartered Institute of Security Investment, UK. I'm a council member from 1993. 3 times I've been in council over this period. I'm currently the chairman of Education Training Committee, and I've been a chairman of Education Committee in 94, 95, 2014, 2015. I've been a vice president of ICAP 2014 and 15, and I've been a SIFA council member for the term 2016 to 21. And currently I'm a council member of Institute of Chartered Accountants England and Wales for term 2023 to 25, along with a colleague from India, which she is also from South Asia. I'm also representing South Asia in ICW. I'm independent chairman of Bata Pakistan, I'm Dean of the School of Accountancy of Finance of the University of Lahore. Basically, today's topic is ABCD, and tomorrow, next session, we will be looking at more relating to EHE, how to enable the EHE and manage the EHE and deliver on EHE, which is the leadership. The technological advancements are shaping how accountants are carrying out their daily tasks and interact with their clients. And technology is affecting all disciplines of the work we accountants are doing, like tax, corporate law, bookkeeping, corporate finance, corporate reporting, advisory, and performance measurement. And Nanda said that the technology is not going to change us, only we have to change ourselves. And I believe in the contest, actual intelligence which we will be having, we will win over the artificial intelligence. Probably we understand properly the artificial intelligence. Our role will be changing and shift focus to the proactive, value-added activities which are more rewarding and profitable. That's the content going to have out of this. So I think we should all be ready for this challenge and for the role which are going to be expected from us under the era of this technological disruption. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Makbul sir. And now I'll request Ishan to quickly give an introduction.
Hi, everybody. This is Tishan from Sri Lanka, on chartered accountant as well as an agent at law.
Just come a little closer, I think, Tishan.
Can you hear me? Am I audible now?
It's a little low.
Okay. So I'm a chartered accountant as well as an attorney at law, and I'm also a certified information systems auditor. And if I talk about my career, I'm the managing partner at Move Higher Sri Lanka, which is a bit more global. Before that, Geo Sri Lanka, but it was as a partner, and before that, it was attached to Mysore Hospital. It was like transferred in the USA, international head office. And going forward, during the deliberations, I will share my insights with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tishan. Now let me just ask Ashish to quickly give us introduction.
So, good evening, all. I represent an institute called the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I'm a Central Council member into the second term of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Rather, I am a little bit odd man out amongst all of you because all of you represent the Accounting Institute. I represent the Cost and Management Accounting Institute. We are a little bit niche. Cost and Management Accounting is quite small as compared to the accounting profession. But that means when we are small or when we are niche or we are very, very specialized as a cost and management accountancy, we have more impact of AI or technology or the technology disruption, which has happened not only today, but also in the last 25, 30 years. The institute, the cost and management accountancy as a profession has impacted a lot due to the change in technology. I'm happy to inform you that whatever changes in technology which are happening in the accounting field, same things are happening in the cost and management accounting field also. And all the places wherever there are changes in the accounting, those changes are replicated in the cost and management accountancy also. Since I'm a practicing cost accountant from India, we do practice into various MIS designing, cost audit, cost management things, which requires a lot of support of AI and technology, which we have been taking. So, of course, in due course of time, I'll be discussing with you that how Cost and Management Accounting Institute is taking efforts to ensure that whatever changes are happening in the technology, we are in line with those technology changes. How we are equipping our students well enough to face those changes in the technology, ensuring that they are going ahead with the technology. And then, of course, ultimately, they become the winner by using that technology. I agree with all the panelists, what they have stated earlier also, whatever has been stated, that the experience of the old gentlemen, old people, old professionals, plus the new generation which is coming up, along with the technology, that makes a good blend of the profession as a whole. So thank you so much to South Asian Federation of Accountants for inviting me to this panel discussion. Thank you. Back to
Thank you very
Dayash
much.
Sharji. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And as always, it is said, Ashish, small is beautiful. And the people who are quiet actually get the revolution also. So don't worry, we are all with you. So don't feel exception in the entire process. And we all come from the similar background. So welcome to you. And finally, the most important person, Sujan, who is the president of ICANN. I'll request him to kindly share. Nepal is always a place which is in heart because it's beautiful always. Over to you, Sujan.
Thank you, Dhanavji. Good evening, all of you. So, I am Sujan Kumar Kafle. I am practicing chartered accountant in Nepal since last 20 years. Currently, I am president, and I served as a council member in 2009 to 12 also in the ICANN. So we are also closely working with ICI in the different aspect on the different time. So thank you for that. And it's so far as the today's program or today's virtual conference is concerned, technology is very important. It's all said that I agree on that point. Today's students should be tech savvy, so it is no doubt. They all should be the tech savvy, and we have to equip our student with a different knowledge, different expert, and different technology. So this is the main points I think we have to deliver today. Thank you for the SAFA President and Vice President providing this opportunity as good gestures of Mr. Asnaka Kurupu initiating his term after some months, some days we can say that. So I will deliver my full insight in my time. So I think this is my initial interview only. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think dear students, you have now understood the background of each and every panelist who has come today only and only for you people. It is going to be recorded. It is getting recorded. This will be hosted for your future benefit in the SAFA portal as well as on the respective institute portal. My request to you is, after listening, if you want to listen to the entire discussion and also recommend your friends, ensure that you propagate this part, which is very important. Why I am telling you is, if you see, whichever country it is, whoever the person is, every person is actually talking, technology is coming and we are excited to adopt technology. No one is saying why technology has come and it is going to impact us. We all are saying it is good that technology is coming and we are going to move forward. Now, considering this, let us do one interesting part. We have the 6 panelists who are there with us. I am going to ask question one after another to each one of you. And it is going to be a very interesting discussion. What I request you is, in short, crisp, very comfortable. You can give an explanation relating to your experience with your institute or your experience at the global front, whatever you have learned. If you can share with our students, it will make a whole lot of difference. And these questions which we are asking today are not subject oriented. Again, I'm telling you, this is future oriented. That means where do we head towards is something which we need to really look at. So first question I would like to ask Mohammad Abdul Qadir Jordan, as a Central Council member of ICAB. Very interesting question to start with. Bangladesh also is moving towards, though I would have actually started with Nandaji because he is heading the technology in every aspect. But yes, this I am asking you for a simple reason, that your way of thinking will make people think in a different way. So how do you believe technology disruption will impact the career path of accounting student in SAFA region? Rather not SAFA region, it is across the globe. Over to you. How is it going to impact the career path of accounting students? Over to you.
Thank you, Danji. And I think this is very, very relevant for the participants, especially the students. So first of all, there is no denial that the technology disruption is happening very rapidly, and it is changing the way we work, the way we interact with each other, like this very interaction, and the way we even think. So, and this is equally important for professionals in business as well as in practice. I remember I actually have worked almost 17 years in Standard Chartered Bank. And when I was posted in Dubai, I was the controller there. So we used to talk about, where we want to get to in the way finance works. So our aspiration was that we will 20% of the time we should spend. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
20% of the time.
Yes, sir. Very much. Very much.
Okay, great. So 20% of the time we should spend on production and ensuring accuracy, and 80% we should spend on the understanding the numbers, the insights, and then bring value to the table for the business. Now, clearly, if I'm talking about this discussion which took place 15 years back. So as we speak, it has improved, but there is still a long way to go.
I think there's
the internet issue, I think.
There's an internet issue, I think.
Yeah, I think.
He was giving a good insight, 20 years back story. I think it makes a lot of relevance for us to understand at this point in time what was being taught 20 years back. As soon as Jodhar joins us, I think it will be interesting to listen to his thoughts.
He may be
This is
joining
the
any
only
moment,
problem
Mr.
of
Chairman.
technology.
See, it is not problem of technology. Rather, I say when you are actually walking on the road, the roads are bad, the flights are the traffic jams are there, flights are getting delayed. Everything is there. In technology also, something will be like this. So by the time he joins, I think he just dropped out. And in the meantime, do you suggest me to take another question so that he can continue his question? I don't want to change the question to another person for good reason. I think he's joined.
He's back. He's back.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah, Jodhar, I think unmute yourself. Mudit? Yeah.
Sorry, there was a bit of a disruption. So I was just talking about what this means, all the change that is expected, that is happening, and more to happen going forward. What does this mean for us? So clearly, there will be some changes in the way, because my question is about the career paths. So obviously, some of the job that you do, like data entry, very basic, repetitive kind of job, they will probably not be there much. But this will create more opportunity for more strategic and value-adding roles. And that is what, as I mentioned, was always been the aspiration for the finance professionals. Now, to be able to deliver values to the business and to remain relevant, a finance professional obviously need to transform the way we currently think. Our mindset need to change, and we very importantly, we need to acquire new knowledge. And what are those new knowledge? I think some of discussion have come about, but I'll just probably cover very briefly. We need to acquire proficiency in the data analytics. There's a discussion around it, artificial intelligence, and the various automation tools, which will complement the knowledge that you already have, the accounting knowledge that you have. Here, I would like to add that we should change our focus, because in this, for the students, we should change our focus from memorizing topics or things. Like I remember when I was doing the chartered accountancy, we needed to memorize things and then write some of those things in our exam papers. But for student these days, I would suggest you need to understand what you're studying, because that is going to be very important to be able, so that, because there will be a lot of data and you need to be able to read through those data to make sense out of it, to find a theme out of it, so that you can bring value for the business. And especially because everything, in our days, if you don't remember things, then we have to carry books. But now everything is in your handphones. So therefore it is important to understand the connectivity rather than memorizing things. So and clearly the other options we need to think about is when it comes to career, because earlier, we get into, like, people like us who decided to go for, job, doing the service for industry, the typical finance and accounting job. But as you can imagine, these days with the advancement of technologies and cyber security and everything, there will be new career path that you can choose from: the forensic accounting, risk consulting, and advisory, and as well as business advisory, which are driven by the data rather than the usual stuff that you're used to in the past. And very importantly, the continuous learning is going to be the key to success, because over last few years, the way technology has evolved and changes are coming through is like overwhelming. So therefore, we need to continue to learn new things, everything that is happening in the landscape, to remain to kind of keep our knowledge level up to the date, and so that we can continue to provide the service that is expected of us. And most the other thing that I want to add here is the globalization. I think some comments and this conversation also kind of a testament to that as well, that in order for us to provide service, like you have to be physically present in a particular location. Now, with the advancement of technology, and it has almost become borderless, limitless kind of a scenario. So you can provide your service from no matter where you are. And that is where I believe there will be a massive opportunity for professionals in this region. Because I mentioned earlier that yes, 80% is the aspiration that it will be like value-adding intellectual stuff, but there will still be some production activities, and it has to be done by some people. And in fact, you mentioned about that this, South Asia becoming the hub, like product manufacturing hub. I genuinely believe, like Bangladesh is a manufacturing hub for the garments industries, ready-made garments. I have a genuine belief that this region can easily become the manufacturing, accounting. We can set up accounting factory for rest of the world, because and there are two reasons. One, of course, the capability, the people, the skill set that you have, the knowledge base that you have in this region, and secondly, let's face it, we can deliver probably the same service to rest of the world at a much cheaper price than the others. So I think with the way the competition is kind of evolving, and there is so much focus on managing the costs better, I have a serious view that this segment of providing the outsourcing service, especially, will create a lot of opportunity for professionals in this region. And so finally, I want to say that while technology will disrupt the traditional accounting practices, but it also presents avenues for growth and innovation and to do new things, like I mentioned. So accounting professionals in SAFA region must adapt by embracing technological skills and mindset of continuous learning to thrive in this evolving landscape. So thank you for the opportunity to share some of my thoughts.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Now, I think, Jodhar, your discussion, which was very subject-specific, topic-specific, and you rightly said that the newer technology is actually going to get newer opportunities also. I always say in my lectures across the length and breadth, saying that till the time the finance is going to be there, right, on this planet Earth, till that time chartered accountants and cost accountants are going to be relevant. That is something which we all have to understand very clearly. If the finance is going to move out, still we'll find a way to do something new, like we are doing in ESG, which is non-financial reporting, certifications, which is there.
And thereby, I would like to add that Jodhar was Jordar.
Jordar.
Very great, very nice, very effective. To the point, yes. And more importantly, bring out the best. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And one accounting, the hub which we are trying to create, now it is borderless and IFRS. Like earlier it used to be US GAAP and all. Now it is IFRS across the length and breadth. So whether you qualify from whichever country it is, the IFRS reporting requirement is going to be same. So wherever you are sitting and operating, you can actually make it. Thank you very much. Your input actually gives a lot of confidence for the students who are participating, because the new career path when the financial and non-financial matters, cybersecurity, technology, everything is going to be coming in a big way. So thank you very much, Jodhar. And now let me go to the second panelist, is Tishan. Tishan, over to you a question. How can students maintain high ethical standard in the accounting as technology becomes more prominent? And what skill will help them in making an ethical decision? This is a very interesting question. I just would like to tell you before you start answering question. I did one program in Hyderabad, which is my city, where we talked about ethical professional in the technology era. Because what is going to happen is a lot is going to change, and ethics definitions are going to actually, the main meaning will be same, but the entire way it is going to be looked in will be different. So over to you. How do you think the high ethical standards will be impacting the accounting because of adoption of technology? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dayaji, for that question. It's really an interesting question. This is application of ethics in the context of a profession where the profession is impacted by technology. So in approaching the question, let me just share some of the initial thoughts. Now, who is a professional? So for me, a professional, a person who has acquired a specific set of skills through a learning process which would cater to a requirement in the society and would extend his services within a commonly accepted ethical framework. So here, actually, one or two high-profile, a couple of high-profile breach of ethical requirements by high-profile members might impact the profession at large. So in that context, ethical frameworks have been developed to better function as a profession and to safeguard its reputation. So ladies and gentlemen, we all know, reputation as a professional can be viewed as an intangible asset. And as accountants, we all know sometimes these intangible assets as well as other material assets can be impaired. The same thing will happen to us. And before I touch on the technology part, so let's look at what are the main, in the benefit of the students, what are the main constituents of a ethical framework when it comes to the accounting professions. You have the constituents like the attributes like the integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, professional behavior, professional competency and due care, and most importantly, independence. And I can just cite some of the case studies, where independence been compromised and what happened to the corporates as well as their auditors. So if I name a few, we all know about Enron and the aftermath of Enron, what happened to their auditors, Arthur Andersen, in the public limelight. And if I take an example from India, Satyam case, we all know, and even in Sri Lanka, there are many cases I can cite. So these are the main pillars within the ethics framework. So in this context, so I believe, I mean, part of the question is what skills to be developed in adhering to the ethical standards. So ladies and gentlemen, for me, I can't say, well, I am adhering to these principles of ethics within the profession and outside the profession. I would compromise on 1 and 2. No. These attributes would form part and parcel of a professional in his or her life. We are really, we have to live within these attributes, and we have to form these as part of our value system, and we will not be able to disaggregate with these attributes as a professional, right? And the market will place a value on a professional who are maintaining high ethical standards, and it will place a market value. And as much as the market places a value on that, the market will not hesitate to impair the value placed on a professional by deviating from high ethical standards. So in this context, actually, I would like to recommend a good book. In fact, this book has been written by an Indian author. I'm sure some of you would have read it. This is one of the best books I have ever read. The title of the book is The Professional. The author is Subrato Bakshi. Right? I request you all to, if possible, read this big book because I have read this 2-3 times. So if I just highlight some of the components, there are 7 parts. Well, the first part is titled Integrity. The second part is titled Self-Awareness, where competency ends and professionalism takes over. The third part is titled Professional Qualities. Fourth part, Managing Volume. Fifth, Managing Complexity. Sixth, New World Imperatives. Seventh, The Professional. So why this book is important? Some of these theoretical aspects being put forward in a storytelling manner. So it's really important. And when I speak of the technology, ladies and gentlemen, we all aware, some of you may aware, in the UK, recently there was this landmark judgment given by the courts. You know, even WhatsApp messages, in fact, emojis could be form part of relevant facts in court proceedings, and it could have a major impact on the ultimate court verdicts. So, in that to that extent, you know, the technology is impacting the people's life. Now, as professionals, in the complexity of technology, you know, the professionals, the risk of a professional leading into ethics violations would be higher because the visibility is high, right? And even without our knowledge, we may communicate certain things, and later on, these could be identified as breaches. And in that context, the ethics, the principles of ethics would remain the same. But when it comes to application, there's, in the context of technology, there's high probability that we may get go to a breach. So in that context, upcoming professionals, mainly, even as an attorney at law, you know, I'm now bound by 2 ethical frameworks, but built on the same principles. So these are some of the things I just wanted to highlight during this deliberation. And later on, if there's a Q&A session, I can take up any question. Thank you, Daji. I think I've given 3-4 minutes, so I think I have done the justice within the given time.
Yes, you have done justice, and I think the bottom line for your entire discussion is only one thing: professional is equal to ethics. That's it. We don't have any compromise. A single % actually deviating. Whether you show this book of Subrato Bakshi or might be an unwritten book, the fact is ethics. Actually, if we can define taste of water, you can actually define what ethics is. So ethics cannot be defined at any given point in time, whether with technology or without technology. Ethics has to be complied with. So I think your thoughts to let people know, the students know, that the code of ethics for your respective institutes is very important to follow, because that is the underlying principle on which we all survive.
Yeah, Daj, if you give me a couple of seconds, actually, you know, as professionals, our greatest asset is our reputation. And this reputation is built on our knowledge, skill, as well as, most importantly, adherent to ethics. And at any given time, due to 1 or 2 foolish acts, it could be written off, impaired. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now over to Nandaji, my chairman. And a very interesting question I am going to ask of the question number 2 and 1, which is primarily, what advice would you give to students who are aspiring to pursue a career in accountancy, considering the evolving technology landscape? What is the evolving technology landscape? No one can be better than you. And what is your advice for all our students who are aspiring to be the chartered accountant in time to come?
Thanks a lot, Mr. Chairman. I would like to very candidly put across one very important thing. If you want to perform in life, you need to be always informed of the latest and contemporary issues that are in the market. For students, we can't say that students we should not focus on technology, because ultimately they are driven by technology only. You can't be a sole person with different environment altogether. So I have to give 5 points. The first point is to be conversant with technology. Understand how technology impacts your subject. be a good learner, and learn how to put in perspective the technology. Second important thing, as a student, you need to know how technology has changed the entire landscape. Students can't shelter by saying that they do not know. A person who doesn't know will never survive, will never touch unprecedented heights in life. So the second important emphasis which I would like to make is that a student needs to know how there will be paradigm shift in embracing technology. Third thing, accounting and technology. The best part is, see, we all understand that in today's time, there is no gold, no oil. Everything is data. I'm reminded of a small thing which I'd like to share with you. A person once said that markets react after budgets. He says, if you have a budget forehand also, it is not possible for you to comprehend where the markets would go. Very importantly, today data analytics is the best tool available and data is pure gold. Yet, if you have data, you don't know how to use the data. Data interpretation is very important. The inferences drawn from an information system is very important because I look at the entire parameter and then I see the strategies which I implement in drawing that data, is it correct or not? Analysis on a similar data made by three people may have diverse and heterogeneous results. So the third important point is to understand how you could synchronize and give something that holds value not only to the organization we are giving, but as a student to your entire initiative of studying. The fourth thing, please understand, with technology, things have changed manifold. Older practices are gone and are not in vogue now. So as a student, when you learn technology, it becomes imperative that you implement technology and ensure that what value add it does to the system. Mr. Jodhar in a very Jodhar fashion explained the meaning of value add. Yes, that value add is very, very important. What value you are adding by using technology, how time is being saved, how you are able to effectively change the way things are being done, how a process overhaul is being made, how the loopholes in any process is being determined. And the final and last thing, as students, you have tender minds. You don't need to unlearn much. Today, what you do, you have to unlearn, learn, again unlearn and learn. A student, not much is stored here. I always say, live like a king, forgive and forget. So for them, forgetting is not a big issue. When you want to use technology, my only systematic advice to you is believe in technology, understand technology, and more importantly, implement technology in whatever area it is possible. There was a very celebrated movie of Amitabh Bachchan in which he said, when he was, do you know English? He said, yes, I drink English, I eat English, I dance English, I play English, I sleep English, I awake English. That is why if you use technology, it will change your way. You have to use technology in each and every area where it is possible, saving time and creating value and worth, not only for you, but for future areas where you would go and service ultimately to have a fruitful living. Thank you. Thank you, Devai.
Sir, you made it. Most of us now, we don't have much to talk, I think. But yes, I think this 5 points which you made it, which is given a punch with Amitabh Bachchan also. It's a movie called Namak Halal, if I'm not wrong. So from where you picked up this dialogue.
You are correct. You are correct, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And now this entire movies which are actually released in India also goes to Pakistan. So now let me go to Pakistan, to Mohammad Maqbool sir, and ask a very pertinent question following on this. What is it? As students, many face challenges in adopting the technology changes, which he told very clearly that, they are tender minds and they have to learn automatically new things. For all of us, it's going to unlearn first and then learn. But yes, for these students, face challenges in adopting technology. What strategies can they employ to overcome these challenges and thrive in their academic and professional journey? It's a very interesting thing. I think you have an answer with you with your smile. I'm able to understand. But yes, over to you, sir. And you have been, the chairman of the education board also in past. So there cannot be a better person than you. What strategies do you think the students should, implement to overcome this kind of challenges? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Very relevant question having two parts. One is adopting the technology changes by student and challenging that. And second, what to be done, whereby they can employ those strategies that can be employed to overcome those challenges. Actually, if students should, and also accountant should, future accountant should understand the vision, but to adopt technology, because tomorrow's workplace they are going to face will be having the feature of automation of routine tasks and all compliance work, as already said by many panelists. And the focus will be on data analysis, strategic planning, and advisory, and dealing the client with value-added services, you see. And also the businesses as well. If you talk about not the practices, the business organization. So they have no option but to adopt the technology. But when come to the strategies, there are three parties to that. One, the institutes, second, the training organization, and the third are the students themselves. So to overcome these challenges. The one thing I was experiencing, all the institutes no institutes are ahead from the other institute in adoption of technology in their curriculum. All are at the same place. I was looking at a World ACA of ICW being council member, and I was also looking CPA's curriculum as well. CPA just from January 2024 are going to add the discipline. We're going to have one specialist paper on information system and control. And the ACA, like India, they are also having the embedded the technology, ethics, and ESG. They are also coming up with it, and they are discussing that. And we in Pakistan, the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Pakistan is also looking at its 2025 education reforms. And every institute, I think no institute should miss the opportunity of doing it as early as possible, because the time has come. Even they have given their current scheme 2 years back, still the time has come they have to relook their scheme so that they can enable the student to have the technology knowledge. Second, the training organization. They also have to come up and train their people in the technology. They should adopt the technology fast, implement the technology fast, and they should train the student. And now what the student should do? Students should know the organization and employer they're going to work for will be going for automation and the use of a lot of accounting and other business software. They should getting the skill upgradation on that. There will be concept of data security and privacy, and the student have to focus on that. They should have live with that, and there's a need for continuous updation. Students should be getting that updation, and data analysis and technological skills would be learned by them as a part of their curriculum, as a part of their work routine. They need to adapt to new regulation and norms which are going to come up, as you were talking about the ethics. Big thing, ethics change and the regulation change will be coming up due to this technology. They have to be open for that. And they should be prepared to overcome the resistance to change, which is the basic thing. Like they should have an open mindset to innovate and adopt the change. So that's the students' requirement, right? So this is where three partners have to play the role, and students have to be taking the all advantage of this development and should be learning that, so that they will be main beneficiary of that all. So this is what I say. Yes. The challenge is how can be overcome, you see.
Sir, I think, Mohammed sir, one thing which I can tell you, my daughter is at 16 years old, and she is actually taking her 11th standard. From their schooling itself, technology has been taught to them. And now what is going to happen is, whether it is schooling or no schooling, I'll tell you one simple logic. I think Ashish, you will also agree, Jodha, you will also agree that in our families, kids are there. Whether you teach them technology or not, they are able to take the mobile phone, they start playing a game which they have never played in past. For you and me, it takes little time. So what I would like to tell, which you have rightly put, sir, 1, 2, and 3, the third part you talked about the student. Now the point is, student will drive the entire organization in time to come. That is a feeling which I have. They will be demanding from the institutes what they want to learn, and that is where it is going to take us in a different direction. Thank you very much for giving that input, sir. Now let me go to Ashish. Yeah. So Ashish, if you, I'll ask question to Sujan first, because I asked his last introduction. So I want to take him from office. He reached home in this entire travel. That is what the advantage of technology is. Now he has to go for his lunch or dinner, I think. So let us not make him wait for a longer period of time. Friends, students, let's tell you, we'll take 2 more questions with these 2 gentlemen here, and then we'll have another round of discussion if it is needed. I think we are just giving you initial thoughts, how you need to think about, and then we will take one more session in time to come where we'll discuss in detail and deliberate. So, Sujan, a question for you, right? What skills do you think students should focus on developing to make themselves future ready in the rapidly evolving accountancy landscape? What skills do you think students should be focusing on?
Okay, thank you, sir, for the question. I think students are tomorrow's leader, and most of the students will be converted in the chartered accountant, and they will go to lead the different entities in years to come and days to come. Not only India, in South Asia, they also provide the leadership in the different parts of the world, especially in the developed country also. So I think students from the South Asian level or chartered accountant from the South Asian countries are the future of the accounting profession of the world. I think it is my personal view. So to make our student so technical friendly or technical savvy, we have to make our student so equipped with a different set of the skill. I think we don't have to limit our student for only 1 or 2 skill. We should provide our student a different set of the skill, which they can provide the different services in years to come or days to come after becoming the professional, and they will provide the service. Of course, technology is one of the issues, so the contemporary issue. So many of the students should be equipped with us. So many data and so many big data big data are coming to us. So we have to able to manage, and we have to able to analyze of this kind of data with as per the norms of our auditing and accounting profession. So accounting profession is not limited to the manual accounting as previously we did, but it is a very cumbersome auditing process right now. We have to accept the such challenge, and we can take the help of the technologies to solve our problem. But as rightly Mr. Nanda and ICI President said that artificial intelligence or technologies cannot replace our work, but we can we can take them as a tools and technologies. They may be the enabler or whatever may be the form we can use of that. Of course, our students should be equipped of the different technology, maybe the latest developed technology, maybe the AI, other different ERP, different softwares, different auditing practice softwares, maybe the one. So similarly, also they should be able to analyze the problem solving skill. They should have the such kind of skill also. So, along with their communication skill is of the most. Today's world is totally connected by the development of this modern era communication. So communication skill in line with the international standard is also most important for our students. So we have to provide such kind of skill and platform to our student also. Leadership and managerial skill may be the another one. So that are the skill that can provide our students are for today's managerial skill or tomorrow's leadership skill. So they will lead the company or other organization tomorrow. That are one of the important skill, I think. So as of now, there are not only we have did earlier, like we did earlier, internal and external financial audit only. Now branches of audit also has been increased, and they have been added different feathers of the auditing also. There may be the social audit, there may be the information system audit. There are a lot of audits we have added, forensic audit also. So also at that point of time, or at that set of the skill, we have to also think about and provide the knowledge to our student. So these all type of student, this all type of knowledge if we provide, and if we able to provide the such kind of skills, so our tomorrow student will be the tomorrow leader, will be the most important one. They lead the organization. So if I summarize, so what kind of the basic skill we can provide to the basic advanced skill we can provide to the students is from the regulatory point of view or education point of view is we have to provide the time management skill, we have to provide the communication, problem solving skill, analytical skill, self confidential skill, technological skill, taxation skill, maybe the other part, ethical and integrity skill, leadership skill, situation management skill. So many skill we can provide our student, and we can make our students so technological friendly or management friendly. That's why we can send to the market, and they can provide the different jobs as per the requirement. I think so. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujan. I think a lot input you have given from a point of view with regards to what training that need to be done, or what should be the focus which should be there. From a theory perspective, which we have discussed at length, the only aspect which we all are actually giving to our student is the practical training. Ashish, a question comes to you now. You heard these 5 speakers, panelists, who gave their perspective of what need to be done, this is need to be done, that is need to be done. But one last aspect, which is actually a final shot of this entire discussion, or might be a reality, is how important is gaining practical experience and exposure to technology tools during their articleship for student to account, for a student. Without practical training, all this discussion, it doesn't stand anywhere. So what do you think the student should focus on practical training aspect? Over to you.
Yeah. So let me start with, a simple thing that as a last batsman, because you have asked all other players, they all have made their runs. Now I'm the last batsman. Most of us are the cricket loving countries. So importance of the last batsman, because he has to score the runs which are required to win. So let me take that efforts to score, whatever the remaining runs are there to create that winning shot. And my job is simpler, because all the principles which has been said or spoken by all my fellow panelists are already been spoken, already been told. And now here comes the practical question, or rather the question related to the practical training which is there. So before I go to the question, I would also like to tell, because 1,000 students are attending this seminar today, panel discussion today. So I would like to tell them that look at the Charanjot Singh sir, who just quoted Amitabh Bachchan's film. So my point is, accounting is not boring. A top accountant in our country also watches television. He also sees good movies and can quote also. So accounting is not boring, because that is what people usually feel, that accounting is quite boring. But our people watches movies also. So learn from them that accounting is not boring. And sir also spoke one thing about that we have a lot of data. How we will take the inferences out of that data is something which is very, very critical, because that is where the practical experience comes into the picture. As a practical experience, when a student goes through his articleship, his traineeship, maybe for all our institutes, the duration differs, but the practical training is must. So like what the professional book which Tisan just mentioned, so there also you will find that there is a lot of stress has been put up on the practical training. So my point is, a data which is there, I am drawing some inferences out of it, and that requires a practical training. So a student after practical training, which goes to the industry after becoming full professional, this practical training helps him to understand whatever is the data, whatever is the inferences, whatever is the accounting, whatever he has gone through. So to just give you some very small example of that practical training, I'll tell you how we are trained in the laboratory. So ultimately, what is practical training, or the training is ultimately you train in the laboratory, and then you again go back into actual application of this because you become full-fledged accountant. So I'll tell you a simple story or a simple joke where you will understand that why practical training is very, very important. So what happens is in a lab, so it's nothing to do with any animal cruelty, but still, it's just take it as an example. So in a lab, what happens is the scientist takes up the cockroach and he cuts one leg of that cockroach and he tells the cockroach, now you run. So the poor cockroach, despite of one leg cut, he starts running. So that is very good. Scientist cuts his another leg and says that run. Still he runs because he has 4 legs. So he cuts one more leg like that. So finally he cuts all his 5 legs and 1 leg is remaining, and he tells the cockroach, now you run. So cockroach, still despite of having 1 leg, somehow he runs and he goes little bit progress and this and that. Finally, the scientist cuts his 6th leg and now tells him that now you run. But cockroach doesn't run because now he doesn't have any legs more to run. So what scientist does? So scientist writes in his observation that after cutting the 6 legs, cockroach becomes deaf. He can't listen anything. Why? Because that is what is the inference which he has drawn out of his lab experiment which is there. So my point to say that is where the practical experience makes the difference. So there your senior will come and your senior will tell you that no, why is it not, that's not the correct inference out of the data analysis which you have drawn, but possibly because 6 legs has been broken, so now he cannot run. So that is where there is a difference of the practical training, which accountant has to do it, because nobody comes with the good knowledge of accounting. Everyone has to learn through a process. So for example, I'll tell you, in cost and management accounting, what happens is there is one portion of cost and management accounting, we call it as a MIS, or management information system. Now management information system has evolved in from such a small scale to now such a large scale, wherein we use lot of data and technology to ensure that whatever is required by the management for their best of the decision making, every data is collated, every data is calculated and putting it to the management so that any good decisions can be taken on the basis of whatever data has been collected by them. So what happens is, during this process, what we have seen over a period of last 50 years, 60 years of good businesses, the requirement of data has changed from what was there in the 50 years back and what is there today. Now tomorrow, what happens is the old data, possibly the data which was asked or in the format which was asked 50 years back, is again back to the fashion, and now management wants that type of data to be seen. So what is the advantage of your having practical experiences within that 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever practical experience which you have? Within that span, you learn whatever the MIS has gone through from first year till the 50th year. And then finally, when you come to the 51st of year, if management asks you any data, say 25 years back, 30 years back, not exactly the data, but the way it has been presented during those times. So you are very much ready to present that data to management. So it is not only just one company where you learn, but you learn it through various companies and then present it to the management. So that is what is the great importance of practical experience to the accountant. And this practical experience, if it is doubled with the technology, supported by the technology, that definitely helps the students to be a more good accountant, a strong accountant, a very, very professional accountant in future.
So nice, Ashish. Thank you very much. I think there couldn't have been a concluding answer like this. It's like the World Cup winning of Dhoni hitting a 6 and making the team win. But yes, the fact is very simple. Without a practical training, this entire professional course doesn't stand anywhere. Just to put it into a consolidated format, I think because we started at 5, 7 is the time where we need to conclude. And let us, this point or this video conferencing was primarily for initiating a thought in the people mind, our students' mind, where we talked about first question was on the impact on career paths. The impact on career path, rightly said by Jodhar, was that, it is Jodhar. It is very good because it's going to be, positive impact only is going to retain with us. There is no negative impact. It is a progressive growth or rather radical growth which will come in the profession. Then the next question which I asked was on the ethical standards, whether ethics with technology or without technology, you have to stand on it. Thank you very much, Tishan, for doing it. Nandaji, who talked about the evolving technology landscape and the relevance of how you actually move forward in your growth story, your training story, is something which he made it. I don't know whether Nanda sir is there or not around, but yes, he made that statement. And then Magbul sir, you talked about the adopting of technology challenges. As you rightly said, I think you gave 5 points to make people understand what it is. And whether it is schooling or no schooling, we talked about that part also. Students have to actually adopt technology. Whichever village, city, town, or the remotest location of the world a person is, if he has to do accounting profession, he has to learn technology. No second thought about it. And thank you very much. You have put it very nicely. And Ashish, though you concluded it, I think it was a fantastic conclusion. And Sujan, who spoke specifically on developing themselves, students to what they need to focus on themselves, how a student has to focus, which way he need to do. He has put forward, and you have concluded it well. I think this session which we had today is undoubtedly a special thanks to all the leadership. Rather, it is not a thanks to all the leadership who are sitting here today on the screen, because it's our job. So we'll not thank each other for giving an opportunity or to talk on this particular forum. It's our choice. We actually go in the society and just stand before the people and say that, look, I've earned a lot, whatever I've done in my practice or industry. But now it is time for me to come forward and give it back to my society in whatever capacity it is. And Jodhar, you are one of the examples, or might be most of you who are sitting here are different set of examples who have come from industry, and now you are looking forward to give it back to the society in true sense. And dear students, let me just tell you one thing. All the institutes are working for you all people. This is the only profession in the world which pays you your articleship stipends. They encourage you and they create competition for themselves. No other profession actually creates competition for self. Like our president always says, I would like to make this specific mention. And just to conclude, I'll request Nandaji. Students, this is just the beginning. We are just going to come back in the sense next sessions where we are going to talk in detail about one chapter and deliberate. The only thing which we would like to say with this entire thing is all your institutes across the world, across the South Asian countries, we are getting ready or we are already into it, and you will be the beneficiary to this. Now I'll request Nandaji to give in his own style a vote of thanks, not to the panelists, but for all those people who have attended from different parts of the world. Over to you, Nandaji.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Chairman. I would like to define the meaning of names of people who have attended, because it has been a very fantabulous, fantastic session with all bringing out their views. So, Daya Nivas. Daya means compassion. Tum daya karo mere sai. Daya is something which is the rarest of instincts of a human being. Muhammad Maqbool. Maqbool is a Urdu word which means a person is famous. There are two words in Urdu, Maqbool and Mashkoor. Mashkoor means thankful and Maqbool means very, very famous, a very strong personality. Tishan. Tishan may not know the name of his, meaning of his name. It means brave, powerful. You know it or not, Mr. Tishan? Go to Google and see. Tishan means brave. It means powerful. Ashish, very similar to Daya. Ashish is blessings. The blessings from God, the blessings from seniors. Sujan means a saint, a good man. And Jodar, again is Jordar, Jodidar. Jodidar means a partner, and Jodar means a person who is deeply doing things in the right instinct. And Charanjot means the light at the feet of the God. So, gentlemen, in today's session, we were rightly being able to highlight the issues which technology needs and how students could embrace technology to go to unprecedented heights in their lives. The best thing I like about SAFA is that we are all of the similar nature. We all belong to, there is a saying, birds of the same feather flock together. Yes, we are the birds of the same feather. And all of us have the same struggles. All of us have the same accomplishments and achievements. Just little bit transgressing from the subject. All other institutes which have gone high and who have become contemporary nowadays, like ACCA, these institutions have totally fortified their courses on the basis of technology. And we are institutes which were set up an act of parliament. We have to use technology, create an environment wherein every person who comes to us, like we hold exams after 6 months. Why? Let a person give exam on any subject whenever he wants. We have to bring such sweeping changes, first of all, to arrest the flight of students from our side to new age institutes, and secondly, to empower our students. Because where a chartered accountant stands, where a cost accountant stands, I'm sure no other qualification in the world stands. So we all have to empower, all have to make our students aware that they have a great future ahead. Thanks to all of you, a great session and well moderated by Daya Bhai. Daya Bhai is an excellent man who has used his entire intellect and translated into such a strategy that all feel that they are winners. Thanks, Daya Bhai. Thanks all my participants, students, and thank all the panelists, Mohammad Maqbool ji, Tishan ji, Ashish ji, Sujan ji, Jordar ji, and all students who will go home more enlightened, putting at rest all the doubts that they may have about technology. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
You called me Jamidar, so I'll go back and look for my,
That Jordar means strong. Jamidar means the man who has lot of land. Jodidar means partner. So you have so many names.
I don't know why my Jamidari is...
You know every meaning, sir. You know every meaning. Mashallah. Mashallah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Maqbool.
Thank you, sir.
Khuda Hafiz.
Good night. Thank you so much.